Hey guys, Garbers Gaming here, bringing to you an Elite Barbarians deck post their buff. It's a deck which has got me to 3700 with 10, 7, 4 and 1 troop levels. But a quick message just to say, if you do like this video, please like, please subscribe, it really does help. This deck it's just super cool to see the Elite Barbarians get this buff. Before, I wasn't barely able to get to 3200 with any deck with them, and now I'm pushing up with 37 with what I say a questionable deck. Here it is, it's got the poison, it's got the elixir collector and Elite Barbarians. The Elite Barbarians are now able to kill a hog before it reaches your tower, which I think is, well, from what I've experienced so far, is one of the biggest changes since their update. Very, very cool, and it allows a very dangerous, great counter push from someone who's just throwing out naked hog riders. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you a replay followed by a live battle that I did. The commentary is obviously just done afterwards. But here you go, I've played multiple games with it. I'm having a great time. The poison is definitely not the best deck, but because I don't think poison is necessarily the best card to have in right now, but I just thought, hey, let's just mess around with it. Put elixir collector in, put the poison in, let's see what we can do, and I was able to get to 3700 with it. And so this is a really good example of how to defend against this Elite Barbarians. That one on the left hand side able to get one shot off, but he spent 10 elixir to do that one swipe damage on, and I defended it with just the archers and the ice spirit. Admittedly, my knight did a bit of tanking as well. But on my counter push, which puts me a 1 elixir behind our opponent Shanks here, able to do nearly 50% damage to his tower, just below 50%. So that is a great start. His next push is going to show you how not to defend. Admittedly, I get dead unlucky with the timing because I'm just behind him, so I drop my knight as he just dropped his barbarians. There's nothing I could do about that, but what I needed to do was immediately log that, push the Elite Barbarians out, take out the fire spirit swell, drop down my ice spirit to freeze him, and then drop down my own Elite Barbarians. That would have defended that push very, very easily. One thing I had noticed is when someone is dropping Elite Barbarians on a bridge, the way to defend it is not so. He's dropping on the left hand side. You've got to drop your pulling unit, in this case my knight, on the left hand side but in the middle of the arena. You will see I always drop down my knight on the right hand side. If you split your field in half, I always drop it on the right hand side. So here we go, I drop it just in the middle on the right hand side, and it doesn't pull that left one, and that's quite a big mistake to make. It's able to get 4 or 5 shots off. Very, yeah, you don't want that happening. You don't really want to Elite Barbarian anytime in your tower. I'm able to do a counter push because he's been wasting elixir. That poison, certainly a very questionable poison from our Shanks pair right here. A bit of a shank, I suppose. So we're ahead, but he's definitely getting this tower down on the left. There's just a question of, will I be able to take down this next tower in time before the game goes. I now see he's got a mini P.E.K.K.A, and I'm just trying to see if I can get any damage off by dropping my Elite Barbarians in his center of his arena. So he moves in with his Elite Barbarians. I drop my knight again in the wrong position, only kiting one of the Elite Barbarians. I then drop my ice spirit, which gets one-shotted by the Elite Barbarian. I'm not playing very well with this. Multiple mistakes happening. But I suppose I know I'm well up on elixir right now, so I'm just going to see if I can push in and do some damage, get the knight forward, and I see an opportunity here. As he drops his poison, that was a bit unlucky for him to drop the poison as I drop my Elite Barbarians, but that's enough to take down that tower. As you can see, if you're able to get the Elite Barbarians down there onto a tower, it does a lot of damage. It's a pretty good card at the moment, the Elite Barbarians. I'm not entirely sure how good it is. I haven't been looking at the top players yet, but just by looking at where I am right now in comparison to where I was before the buff, they are a good card now, or at least a solid card. So here we go. What we've done. We swapped out the knight for the ice golem in this case. Just again, I'm just messing around, testing out different decks with this. With the Elite Barbarians. So when I see a lava hand, I immediately push out on the right hand side with my Barbarians and the Ice Spirit. Ice Spirit somehow doesn't get killed by the wizards AoE, and I'm able to get a lot of damage off on that right hand side, but it's quite a scary push incoming. But then again, at least I don't have that wizard coming down the other side. I see the golem, the graveyard, which is actually terrifying to see. I'm gonna have to use a log here to clean this all out. But it looked like that actually went down all right. Didn't lose too much. Lost 1300 damage on that left-hand tower, and I was able to get off nearly 2,000 damage on his. So it's a good beginning, but I know he's up on elixir, and I'm really quite scared of that graveyard. After seeing him drop down the tombstone on that right-hand side, I just decided to drop out a poison just to get out a bit of damage, and just mess up any times he wants to do with putting. The idea is you always want to put your lava hound with those skeletons following up behind it. So I didn't really want that to happen, and it's only wasting 1 elixir if that is even is a slight waste. It's not the big waste. But again, able to really clean this up without taking too much damage. Again, do I stop that? No, I don't. So that Ice Spirit actually didn't really do its job, unfortunately, but able to get 100 damage on that top right position. So right now what I'm thinking is I probably want to get Elixir pumped down and see if I can really see what he does and react to it. So he starts with the Inferno Dragon. So we're going to put down the archers on the right hand side to defend against this graveyard. Going to use the Mega Minion as well, and then he shows he's got freeze. We've got a graveyard freeze deck. Now it looks like this tower is going to go down. There's not much I can do about it. I probably should have put down my Elite Barbarians. That would have helped clear that out a lot quicker. I know he spent a lot of elixir trying to sort that out, so I try and push in with my Elite Barbarians poison. It turns out that the poison doesn't kill the skeletons quick enough, so they still distract the Elite Barbarians. Again, like I said before, I don't think the poison is really working in this deck, but it's still able. I'm covering it because it's enabled me to get to this high anyway. Perhaps, well, I have no idea. Maybe just a plain old zap spell. What I have found though, with having the poison, it does allow me to win games which are going to be draws. So able to take that top right tower with the log. This right hand side was looked a little bit a dodgy situation for me, but I knew I had still a lot of HP left on my King Tower, and I was fine with sacrificing a little bit of that to get some damage off on his left-hand tower. This is looking like it's going to be his win here. That is, unless he overcommits, which looks like he has just done by using the graveyard and the freeze. My Elite Barbarians tanking a lot of those hits. And I'm able to get a pretty decent counter push going here. Again, this wizard is really shutting down my Elite Barbarians, but if it's able to get one shot off, which he's not able to do, which is a little bit of a shame, but at least I got some poison damage on that tower, which is probably going to be pretty useful, well, hopefully going to be useful later on. So here he comes again, trying to come in with this Lava Hand, and he goes for the graveyard yet again. So I drop my Elite Barbarians, but they decide to turn and go straight for the tower. He freezes, leaving him no elixir to defend against my Elite Barbarians on top, and that's it. I mean, that's all it takes. It only takes one bit of mistake from the opponent not to kite to the Elite Barbarians in the middle, not to use anything to kill them, and they will completely wreck a tower. Not even they. I mean, just one of them will completely wreck a tower. So I think the real highlight here is when you're facing off against Elite Barbarians, don't misjudge like how potent they are. But anyway, here's a deck again. I don't think this is not the best Elite Barbarians deck, but it's done very well for me, which is the reason why I'm showing it to you. Perhaps you can come up with a better deck. Please let me know what decks you're going to be using with the Elite Barbarians. That'd be very interesting. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please do like, please do subscribe. It really does help and allows me to produce content like this. Anyway, have a good weekend. I'll see you all next time. Galbers out.